How long do you date a person before you get married? And I'll start off with Pastor Tola.
There's no, there's no set time, as it were. However, people get married in 6 months, which I do not personally do not support, because in 6 months you can't know this person as well as you should. I would say 2 years, but some people are a bit liberal and say 1 year. Because in 1 year you could be next door neighbors and really you've been living your life together for like many years. So sometimes 1 year is permissible. I would say around 2 years, okay? When it gets over 2 years again, you don't want it to be too long. So, but depending on when you start, that's another thing. You start when you were in, say like year 11, then really it should be like 7 years if you hope to marry that person. So I know there are people who've been dating since they were in secondary school, and that's worked. So it's a very funny one, there's no set time, but I would say about 2 years, because you definitely need to know this person. Another caveat to that is if they're living abroad or you're living apart, that 2 years, the time you've seen him is just about 2 weeks. So in terms of 24 hours every day, and it's 2 weeks, you need to date for like 5 years. I mean, in my perception, because you don't know each other, they live many miles apart. That's not enough. Yeah. Does anybody have anything?
I would say, like Pastor said, 6 months is a bit of a short time. You don't really know anyone within 6 months. Your siblings can change in 6 months. Talk to someone that you're dating. I don't know if there's like a limit on how long it should be, because I remember like Jacob was courting.
Oh, Leah. Sorry. Jacob's
Rebecca. So he was chasing. So he was chasing. He was working for her for like 7 years. So if it fits in God's plan, I guess I don't know if it's
Yeah. Like I said, if you know you're in a different situation and times don't permit, if you're in uni, you definitely want to think about if you want to get married in uni or outside uni. So again, but 7 years is long because you get tired of that person. Temptations as well, because you know this person, you think, oh, I'm definitely going to marry them because we've been together for several years already. So they're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Well, who said? So you never until you get the ring. No, not even get the ring, because you get the ring in your bedroom. No, in your house. Not bedroom. Not bedroom. In your house. Until you're married, don't give yourself, basically, or don't think you've gotten there, really. Yeah. Even till the day before you're married. I know it sounds funny, because the reason is because you need to be doubly sure, which I know one of the questions will come up.
Well, I wouldn't say that there's a set time, because it depends on the person, but I feel like if you're with it depends on your age, but I feel like if you're with someone for 4 years, 5 years, and you're not ready for marriage, why would you continue to be with them? Like, what are you waiting for? If there's something that you're not sure about, or money? Well, I guess it depends. Like, so if you're around in your 20s, then yes, you could be dating for that long. But if you're 27, 30, and you're dating for 5 years, 6 years, I'm sorry. What are you doing? What are you doing? If money's the issue, you're never going to be 100% financially ready. So downgrade. Don't have a big wedding. Have a wedding with 50 people. Be happy. Because, yeah.
Just like Pastor Tola said, 6 months is too short. In fact, I wouldn't even advise 1 year. I would advise something a little more, because you need to get enough time to know this other person. Well, I courted for 4 years, and it was just sufficient for us to get to know each other. That's despite the fact that we had known each other 2 years before we started courting. You understand? So and then another question would be, what would you be doing within that time of courting? Is it just about kissing or touching, and all that? I mean, people need to get the basics right. You need to ask questions. It's a period of asking questions. You need to know about the person's family background, about the person's hope for the future. What purpose does he have, or he or she? You understand? What you need to know about the past, you need to ask. It's a period of asking questions. It's a time of self-reflection. It's a time of asking yourself as well, do I want to spend the rest of my life with this person?
So does anyone in the audience want to answer that question? Which I will repeat is, how long do you date someone before you get married to them?
Click on the wise as well. Okay.
Oh yeah, Jar.
So firstly, to say, I believe...
And 30 seconds, Jar.
Yes, timing. So firstly, I believe some people hear from God before getting married. And so I'm thinking if you're hearing from God that person is the person, then you don't really have to wait that long, number one. Number two, when Isaac got married to Rebecca, they just brought her from the village to him, and he got married, and they had a very successful marriage. So yeah.
Because God said that's the person, it doesn't mean that you can get married today. If you get married today, you beat yourselves out tomorrow. If by dinner time, everybody would have gone back to their parents' houses. Okay? Oh, I did know. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. So the process of waiting is not so that you find out if that. Once you've heard, the process of waiting is not to find out if that person is the person. No, it's to know that person. So, you don't like butter on your bread. All right, okay. You don't like jam. Okay, I never have jam in my fridge. You never blah blah blah. You can't know that. Even if God said, let's be clear about spiritual things and physical things. Physical things are what that courtship exposes. Spiritual thing, you could feel them spiritually. If you pray, God will reveal to you who they are, what they like. God could even reveal if they eat butter or jam. But you need to, time. It's a relationship. God is a relational person.
Is marriage in the legal sense the same as marriage in God's eyes?
It's not, because of the obvious reason. God doesn't allow divorce. In society, there's a way out. So that's the basic thing.
All right. Now, once you go to get married at the registry or in church, it is recognized by both government and God. You understand? So, it's your responsibility to stand by your vows. Just like he said, God does not recognize divorce. So, whatever decision you are making, you have to ensure that you have both agreed, and then God has also agreed to it as well.
And then by that argument, would you say that every single marriage that has been legalized is a marriage in the eyes of God? So gay marriage and stuff like that is legal, but is it a marriage in the eyes of God?
I was speaking from the context, from the Christian context. But now, if we are to expand it to that horizon, homosexuality is ungodly. So even if you go anywhere to get it legalized, as it were, it's not recognized by God. It's not God's system of marriage. So such, yes, Romans, if you go to Romans chapter 1 from verse 26 down a little, I think to 28, it talks about homosexuality. God condemns it. You understand? God is not for homosexuality. God created marriage between man and woman, between Adam and not, between Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve, like we say in Nigeria, So it's a marriage, marriage is an institution between man and woman.
Apart from what my sister said, right now let's expand it more. Inbreed marriage. Marriage between not even distant cousins right now, marriage between cousins, mother-in-laws. In-laws getting married in the same marriage that their children are involved in. Is that recognized by God as well? Because these things happen.
Marry your cousin. I think I'll leave it at that.
What do you do while you wait on what God has for you? And I'm guessing this means person? Okay. And then the second part to that is, do you recommend dating often until you find someone? So I'm guessing you date until you found that someone.
And it would be a good time to use to better yourself. So let's say you're waiting for Mr. Perfect as well, or you're waiting for somebody perfect. It's also a good time to perfect yourself. Maybe it would be a good time to learn how to cook. Maybe impress that person. or maybe a good time to, perfect something else that, something special for that person for when they come.
Say, if God has said to you that, okay, this is the person that I got for you, then between the time that you find out and the time that you actually start courting, dating, whatever, you maximize your singleness, number one. You build your relationship with God, because I'm telling you, think about it, if you don't build that intimacy with God first, and then you then let another person come and have intimacy with you, it's going to be really hard for you to retain that relationship with God. He has to come number one, because I think a key thing, especially with girls, is that often without realizing it, we tend to idolize the guys that we're with. But when Jesus is number one, you're not going to idolize that guy. You're not. So maximize your singleness and build your relationship with God first, so that when that person comes into it, you guys are even stronger. Woo.
Hi, so I just wanted to touch on what you said about dating a lot of people. So I feel like a lot of people sometimes have this mindset that you need to date in order to know what to do when you're in a relationship or when you're married. But I want to point out that Adam, when he was with Eve, he didn't know, he knew what to do. And same way, when you are a mother, you're going to have a baby, you don't need to have a child to know how to be a mother. There's certain things that just happen when time is right, everything will fall into place.
I believe that when you're waiting, that's the time to better yourself with God, and that's the time for you to learn what you like and what you don't like, so you can express yourself better to the person, not going in different relationships to learn what you don't like and what you like. Know what you like, tell them at the start of the relationship.
If we're waiting for God to give us that guy, don't you think we should, be that vessel for God to make us that girl so we can contribute, because it's always a two-way thing. So I feel like before, we're like, oh, let's go give us our prince, we need to be our queens first. So you need to know yourself and Christ and just work on in every area. So that's what I wanted to say.
When you're dating, like, the question was, is it okay to date many different people and all that stuff? You need to understand that you're emptying yourself out every time you start a new relationship, every time you open up to someone, and that's gonna take a toll on you. You need to just gap it. I'm not gonna say it's wrong for you to date different, have more than one person you dated in your life. Not everyone has that fairy tale, you meet one person, get married straight away, but you need to understand that every time you start a new relationship, that's you emptying yourself out all over again. Everyone, I'm sure most people here have had that experience, so it takes a toll on you, so just gap it out, space it out. I'm not saying it's wrong to date 5 people before you find the person that's for you. Because in church you can date 3 different people in church. It doesn't mean that's a bad thing, it's just you're learning through the process. Don't bombard yourself with different relationships, that's what I'm trying to say.
But don't set out to date 5 people in church before you meet the person, otherwise you're going back to square one, okay? Now, I had an ex before I got married to Pastor. Believe me, I did not want an ex. I fought so hard. Even when I knew it wasn't going to work, oh no, you're not going to be my ex, we're getting married. No, I didn't say that, but in my heart, I said, this has to work. I did not want an ex. Why? Because I don't want someone going away with my whatever they have. We didn't have sex, so no, that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, I didn't want someone going away with my heart, because you give us a part of your heart to somebody else. So dating, we need to be careful about that. What is dating? I think that's the question. What is dating? What is going out? What's the other courtship? Yeah? Dating, now, if you're dating, and dating is we're going to Nando's every weekend, or we're going to cinemas, or whatever they do. Yeah? If that's what we're doing every weekend, in a way you're already giving that special time to each other. Okay, I'm going to stand up. Okay? So basically the point I'm trying to make is, when you say dating, my understanding of what dating should be is you're getting to know each other. You do that more in groups than in one-to-ones. In a movie, how do you know the other person in a movie? Oh, you're talking about what's the latest movie or whatever. The characters and all that. Oh, yeah, Spider-Man or whatever. You don't get to know that person. All you get to know is what kind of movies they like. So they didn't like the movie. So what type of movies do you like? End of the world kind of movies. Okay. Yeah? So basically the point is, don't go out thinking I could know this person by giving my time. Not yet. See how they walk around your friends. Oh, do you want to come along? My friends are obviously you want to be in their company. Yeah, it's true, because that's the whole point of dating. My friends and I are going to the movies. Would you like to come along? If they say no, and every time they go, no, sorry, you don't want to date that guy for the girls. Because they can't cope with your friends, so, they probably won't be able to cope with you. And it goes, to the guys as well. Yeah?
Sex, temptations, dating, and kissing a Christian. Is this acceptable? Is this right?
Read through scripture. Premarital sex is a sin from God. QED. I can prove it in scripture for you. If you read, for instance, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, 3-8, it says, shun immorality and all sexual looseness. It now puts it this way: flee from impurity in thought, word, and in deed. Any other sin which a man commits is one outside the body, but he who commits sexual immorality sins against his own body. Verse 19, do you not know that your body is the temple, the very sanctuary of the Holy Spirit who lives within you, whom you have received as a gift from God? You are not your own. You were bought with a price, purchased with a preciousness and paid for, made his own. So then, honor God and bring glory to him in your body. So you are not. Premarital sex is a sin. Now, let me just round off. Kissing as a Christian. Well, when we were courting, we had standards. We had certain boundaries.
Are you married?
Yes, I'm married. I've been married for 8 years now. To the glory of God. Thank you. So we told ourselves that, since we are not going the way of sex, it's better not to kiss.
No introduction.
So we told ourselves no kissing. Because the truth is, kissing may be a highway to sex. Eventually, you may not plan it. Every Christian who ever fell into premarital sex never planned it as well. Something led to it. So if we are not going all the way, then it's better to cut off whatever may lead, to it. So have boundaries.
Guys, can you please the 30 seconds as we're going?
This brother not tough for 8 years married, 4 years dating. How old you be, bro? No wonder the thing reach 4 years.
Kissing is foreplay, period. And we're all adults here. Foreplay is what you do just before you have sex. Planned sex, obviously. So if you're meant to be married before you have sex, guess what? You're not meant to prepare yourself to have sex. So that's my stand on kissing. When I dated the two guys I dated, but that came out wrongly. Well, anyway, when I was going out with the first guy, and when Pastor and I were going out, kissing was out of it. Because why prepare yourself? You're arousing yourself. Thank God the guy I was going out with understood my stand. It was mutual. But then, again, so that's it.
So the two people who answered are married, so it's easy for them to say, yeah, don't do it, right? But for people who are in university, it's a lot easier said than done. But I grew up a Christian, was raised a Christian, everything. And one thing that my mom always told me is, if you do one thing, if you start kissing now, then you're gonna have to give more. Yeah. So if you kiss before you're dating, then when you start dating, then you're gonna have sex. And then when you're in your relationship, sex is gonna get boring. Yeah. Then what are you gonna do next? So try and prolong it as much as you can so that you don't find yourself in that situation, because then you're 2 years in a relationship, you could actually really like this person, but it's like we've already done everything, we're bored. So try not to maybe chill indoors, pray every day.
Try not to make sex like the pinnacle of your relationship, because even saying things like it's going to get boring, when you're married for 10 years, if it gets boring, what are you going to do?
Was there anything to say about that? Because I think I like the comment from the last person. She lives in the real world, and the rest people are married, so they're telling us post. So they don't have any ways of tackling it like that.
About the kissing thing, I just feel like, I think it depends on the type of kissing, and I feel like because you kiss your mom, I'm a very affectionate person. Like when I see my sister, my mum, I want to hug them and kiss them and everything. And that's like how some people show love sometimes, and it doesn't necessarily have to lead to that. I basically think it depends on the kissing, the type of kissing.
Okay, so what type of kissing is okay?
This one is degree of kissing.
And like also commenting on the kissing thing, I feel like, well, for me personally, growing up, it was all about my values and what I wanted. If I said I do not want to have sex, I do not want to have sex. So if I know it's gonna reach to like that, you know, that amazing climax or whatever, I'll be like, stop. I'll be like, no touching, no, don't do this or don't do that. It's all about the individual. If you say you don't want to do something, then it's up to you, you're not going to do it. It's all about your values. If I say I'm waiting for marriage to have sex, I will wait.
When you hug a guy, girl hugging a guy, and you kiss him like, yeah, might as well. Very sensitive guys, yeah? So you're hugging a guy. Funny enough, I had a flashback about someone I hadn't seen. He was our youth leader when I was in Nigeria growing up. And I saw him here and I went, oh, and I hugged him and I gave him a kiss. I didn't plan to do it there. I just, you know when you hug someone, you know, sometimes you even hug like funny. Yeah? So I gave him a kiss, but it wasn't intentional, it was just me being happy. And since then I just felt, oh no, he was getting married soon. I thought, oh no, you don't touch that. You know, so again, the word is be cautious, okay? Be careful, be watchful, because again, you don't want to lead the guy on. You gave him a peck yesterday. I'm telling you, he's coming back for a kiss. Just like 2 seconds. No, you don't want that pressure.
Can we give the panel a lovely round of applause?
Join us or connect with us on social media. You can also visit our website, gracehaven.org.uk.